We remember for sure.
I
He was
barely
watching
remember.
Power Rangers.
I was.
So was I.
Honestly, yeah, well, I mean, I was too, right? We were playing Power Rangers down there. But anyway.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the D3P podcast.
Or D3PP, as everyone will be calling it.
Nobody's going to call it Joe.
No, but
Everyone's
why?
calling it. Nobody's
Why?
calling it that, Joe.
D3P podcast.
Why?
I mean,
Why?
why not PP?
Yeah, BP. Thank you.
Why?
Not
D3P
BP.
podcast.
Oh, my
I mean,
goodness.
D3PP.
Okay,
Anyway,
listen,
Podcast
guys.
starts
Anyway.
with a P, right? I'm not mistaken.
You start. Okay.
Anyhow, I'm
It's
sorry.
okay.
Go ahead. Keep
Anyways, welcome all of our wonderful viewers. We just want to give a shout out because we haven't really done that yet. We want to thank you all. We've reached 1,000 followers. Thank you.
guys, way to go.
You did that.
getting up,
You
all
did
of you.
that.
You guys did that, as our guests both said. Thank you. We want to thank you guys. We really do appreciate you all. And so we are back today. We are here to talk about the MLB playoffs, right, Joe?
Playoffs?
Oh, snap.
Correct. MLB playoffs. Who's in,
Joey
who is
Votto.
not?
Oh, sorry.
Joey Votto was ejected.
He is not.
In today's
He's not,
game,
unfortunately.
First inning. That's sad.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
Anyway.
but we're going to talk about the wild card picture and the playoffs. We're going to give our top. We're going to give our 2 cents, our 3 pennies. But
But
we're going to give our 3 pennies on
Our 3 pennies.
who's going
Our 3 cents.
to the actual World Series and who's going to win it all. And let's get started right now. Do
All right.
that.
First of all, also, right before we get started, we want to welcome our guest. We got our first time guest, Jason Lee,
What's up?
the brother of the one and only Joseph
We
Lee.
look alike, right? Yep.
Yeah. Leave a
Joe.
like and subscribe for him. And
got
you
twice
already
as
know
much
this
face
guy.
as you.
Bougie Ben. Bougie Ben is here.
Ben's
He's
back.
shorter than Jose Altuve, and his name is Benjamin Rodriguez.
Truthfully, I think I'm around the same height as Jose.
Probably
He's like
a foot
five.
He's
shorter.
5'5".
They lie
You are
on
2
ESPN.
inches.
They
Well,
lie.
you probably
I'm
have to put in
5'3". I'm
That's-
5'3".
That's
Yeah,
he's
okay.
5'5".
And they lie on ESPN, so he's 5'3".
Probably. Well, they
And he's only
they
a-
probably measure with the cleats on. So
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's what it
true,
is.
and you didn't. So that's fair. He is probably 5'3". So.
He's freaking. By the way, Jose Altuve has got to be one of the greatest players of this generation. I
Oh,
truly
yeah, I
believe
mean,
that.
He's
that-
been a
is
while.
that-
Despite the
He's been
cheating,
for a while,
Is that
but
your
I
hot
tell you,
take?
Hot take.
Hot
Hot
take.
take.
Hot take.
Jose Altuve, despite the cheating, but okay, we'll get back on track.
I was
Go
going to say,
ahead,
how
Joe.
many years did he cheat? Let's just,
I'm pretty
it
sure they
doesn't-
still are.
they probably are. All
You
right.
know,
Different signs.
I think it's different than that's a whole nother podcast.
That's a whole
right?
other
That's
podcast.
true.
Are we gonna
Right.
talk like what's worse, cheating like the Astros did, or steroids? Right, steroids in baseball, which I have a whole
cheating
personal
like
theory.
the
That is
Astros.
definitely a whole
Cheating
other
like the
podcast.
Astros.
I have a
Cheating
whole
like
theory
the-
on steroids in baseball. Personally, in my opinion,
It
going
made
off
the
track.
grade.
Hot
Hey,
take.
let us
Hot
know
take.
in the comments if you want to hear
Right.
Ben's whole theory about
No.
Steroids and
Go
baseball.
ahead and
steroids
just
and
say it
baseball.
real
No,
quick.
we
Okay,
don't-
my
you have a
theory,
smoke
my
right
theory, my theory on steroids
Here
in
we go.
baseball is that it's not a big deal. Let me tell you why. Because there's so many guys cheating.
I agree.
And there's so many guys cheating, and you just don't know about it. We don't talk about it. So, in my opinion, it's an even playing field.
Yeah.
And
Exactly.
you can throw all the shade you want at Barry Bonds, but he just
At
was
the
better.
You still have to hit the ball.
You still have to hit the ball. Yeah,
true.
I don't think
That is true.
steroids.
Steroids doesn't make your hand-eye contact or hand-eye coordination that good.
Right.
I honestly
agree. I
just
believe
watched
that.
a video where
That's true.
Greg Maddux was talking about Barry Bonds and how he would rather not pitch to him because he's so good. He's like, I just
Yeah.
couldn't figure out how to get this guy out.
Yeah.
He's like, I would walk him every single time I would face him and face the other 8 players because he's that much better than everybody else.
And I think he was a great hitter, and obviously he enhanced his power. I mean, that's what
Power,
steroids
right.
does. But
That's
not the same
was
thing.
The only thing probably the steroids did for him was give his body
A little bit more power.
more power, more bat speed because his body wasn't breaking down as fast.
Right.
Guys, I
Or
really
was it? Because it's supposed to break
Yeah.
your body down a lot faster. Could he have a longer career if he didn't take steroids?
I think he had a pretty long career
He did.
already.
He did.
Pretty successfully long
But
career.
he didn't even take steroids. Remember, he just used human growth hormone, and his head expanded 3 sizes like
That's
the
true.
Grinch.
And
He
like-
got huge. Now, I mean, you can't. I think it's hilarious when you look back at the size of Mark McGuire.
he was huge.
Poor Mark
he
McGwire.
looked huge.
He
Well,
looked
he
big.
had
He
back
was
problems
ripped.
too, so he was doing the roids to keep himself in the game, which
Right.
I appreciated. I mean, let's be honest, we were all around for the '98 season.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah.
man.
Yeah, the
That
race.
was
that
the
was
race.
fun.
I was
fun.
8 years old.
That was the funnest year of baseball.
How old were
I
you?
was 8 years old.
I
The
mean,
98 season.
98.
How old are
I
you now?
was
I'm 32.
Okay, I'm 36, so
I was 8 years old.
I was.
I
was
remember.
12.
I remember
2
though.
years from graduating high school.
I was 12,
Jeez.
and you were.
I was old. I was 16.
I was 12. You were 16. yeah.
98.
So you
I was,
went to
what, 14? Yeah.
Okay, we remember for
So
sure.
we were
I barely
he was watching
remember.
Power Rangers.
I was.
so was I.
Honest, yeah, I mean, I was too, right? We were playing Power Rangers down the yard. But
Well,
anyway,
that's another podcast because me and Scott have gone
No,
back
I think
and
we
forth.
definitely should
But honestly,
talk
I think-
about steroids and baseball and
Yeah.
cheating at some point. But
Yeah.
Back to playoffs.
let's
Focus on the
talk about
playoffs.
what we're here to talk about
how
tonight, and that
Atlanta's
is
gonna win it
the,
all.
the MLB playoffs. All right, Joe, get started.
All right, let's go ahead and just jump in to today is Sunday, the 1st of October.
First game is Tuesday.
First game is Tuesday.
308 Texas
Rangers and-
versus Tampa Bay.
Yeah, Rangers
Okay.
and-
On ABC.
So let's not go into who's going to win that game in particular. Let's go into who's going to win that series, Texas versus Tampa Bay. What's your opinions? This is a tough one.
It is a tough one. Texas has Scherzer now, right? They got
Yeah,
him at the trade
Texas.
deadline.
Yeah.
He hasn't been that good though since he's gotten
No.
traded.
What has been the X factor for the Rangers? That is the question. What has gotten them this far?
I mean, their division wasn't.
Their
division
right,
wasn't
their
that
division
great.
wasn't that good. I mean,
Well, they
Houston
weren't bad.
won the division and they were tied. They ended up tied, but Houston won that tiebreaker.
So that was a tough.
Anyway.
So I mean, technically, that's kind of a tough division, right? Because you got to face off against Houston, who,
right.
who won the World Series last year?
Wow.
Houston?
I don't know.
Was it Houston? I thought it was Houston.
I
It
don't
wasn't Atlanta, was it?
Fritzy.
No,
It was Houston.
Look
it
up.
was Houston. Yeah.
Somebody look it up.
It was
That's what it
Houston.
said.
We have
Dusty Baker.
Did you look it up?
It was Dusty
It was
Baker.
Dusty's. Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Dusty
Dusty
Baker.
Baker,
It was
and
Dusty's
Houston
World
Astros.
Series.
Well, let's.
It's
let's
the
hang
only
on.
reason.
Let's make sure.
Yeah, I'm like we're over
That's
here.
the
we
only-
have all this tech and we're
I'm
not
100%
using it.
That's
confident.
exactly what I was about to say. We're not using it.
Here's
Well,
the thing. I was a Dusty Baker fan. I don't know why
It was Houston.
I don't.
It
know-
was
It was Houston.
I don't
I
know
remember.
why.
That's what
I
I
don't
thought.
know why people here in Cincinnati wanted him out of town.
He didn't know
was-
how to work his bullpen, just like David Bell doesn't know how to work his pitching staff. But we're not going to get into that. 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 But we're not going to. Bruh.
Yeah,
Is
no.
it? I was gonna say, is it
We
David
got him
Bell
for 3 more years.
or is it our pitching coach?
Honestly-
it's definitely David Bell.
Honestly,
I like our pitching coach.
I like our pitching coach as well. I think it's our hitting coach.
Well, yeah. Well,
Look at De La Cruz. Look at what he's done.
that is
He
true.
came up here. He was on fire. Pitchers made an adjustment
And he
in like a
couldn't
month,
follow.
and he went downhill from there.
Yeah.
Well, I haven't.
And he-
From the little bit that I watched of De La Cruz, I don't know if he's a great hitter. I mean, I think he improved with down the stretch, but
He
at
needs
one
to work on his
point,
defense big time.
it looked like he was just going for the long ball and just trying to make a play.
Which is not like man. just
Joey Votto's a great hitter.
That
There's a
12-game
difference.
winning streak that they went on, they did not go for the long ball.
That's
They
true.
were
There's a
just
lot of
trying
base-
to
Well,
hit,
I was
and then they-
specifically talking about De La Cruz.
I know.
but
I
I think
understand.
Friedel.
But even De La Cruz wasn't going for the long ball.
No.
yeah,
he was just trying to
everybody was
make
hitting
make
hitting
a ruckus,
well.
which he did.
If we had that,
That's the problem.
we would have been in the playoffs.
We would have been in the
Unfortunately, we're not,
You
and that
gotta
is why
win-
we're
you gotta
talking
win the
about the
games that
Rangers
you're
and the
supposed
Rays.
to
But
win.
I will
Hold
say, and actually, Jay, that's a really good point, Jason. So I have to say, I used to be an Indians fan, and there'll always be the Indians.
Who the Indians?
Indians, yeah.
That's not a real
and,
team,
and
Benjamin.
here's
It is.
and here's the point. Jason always said, I followed baseball closely, and I switched teams. I'm a Reds fan now because they changed the name to Guardians. But anyways, it's a whole nother conversation.
Whole
So
nother debate.
I always said, in baseball, it's such a long season, and two things was I really pay attention after the All-Star break, because anything that happens before the All-Star break, you could go into the All-Star break 50 game or not 50, but like 15 or 20 games under 500. I've seen teams do this
Right.
and then make it to the playoffs
Yeah.
because they turn it around in the second half of the season. And then I've seen teams go into the All-Star break 15, 20 games over 500
Yeah.
and they miss the playoffs. So Jason just said it. It's to make the playoffs, it's win the series you're supposed to win.
Right,
Yeah.
like against
And-
Pittsburgh and St. Louis.
Yeah, and obviously
couldn't
you
do
want
it.
to sweep, but if you can just win the series, if you can take two
Two
out
out
of
of
three
three.
games,
2 out of
Yeah.
3.
that's going to put you in a good position. I think the Reds really had a
if you look at them right now, if you win 2 out of every 3 games, right? What are you at? 66.6667% win percentage, and
Right.
the Reds were at 506. So they did not do that.
No, they didn't.
Got over
But I
500.
will say this.
take that.
This is one thing I gave me some peace today. make this sound much deeper than what it really is. We literally went to the final game of the season with a chance to make the playoffs.
It's true.
Yeah.
And of course, it was not contingent upon us just winning. I think the Cubs had to lose.
Yeah.
But there was still a chance.
There
Like,
was a chance
down-
near the end of the season. It was better than last year when they lost 100 and more, 100
Oh,
games.
yeah.
Everybody thought it was going to be the same this year,
And they were over 500,
wasn't.
82 and 80.
That's right.
I mean, at this point, unfortunately, in Cincinnati.
We'll take it.
Anyway, back to
Back
the
to the AL. Back to Tennessee or
Tampa Bay.
Tennessee, Tennessee's
Tennessee.
getting an MLB
Sorry.
hot take.
Hot
Major
take.
League Baseball.
Tennessee need a
Tennessee's
Major League Baseball
new
team.
MLB team.
All right.
They're going to do an expansion team.
Rangers and
Okay.
Rays. So I think we already mentioned they had a weak division.
Actually, I'm just going to say this based off I want to see the Rangers win it. So I'm going to go with the Rangers
You think
winning the series.
winning this series?
Why do you want to see them win it?
I don't know why. I just like Tampa. We've seen a lot of Tampa. Tampa they always come up with somewhat of a good baseball team.
well, they got that dynamic. What's his name?
He's real dynamic.
Oh my gosh, Hank, what is his name?
Hank Williams. No.
No, the outfielder that destroys in the playoffs.
Ron, Rosarina?
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
Ostertag.
Rosarina.
I was gonna say something else, but yeah.
I would say I would like to see Texas win. I don't know if I'm going to choose them though, but one of the reasons I say I'd like to see Texas win. How many times were they in the ALCS back when they had that? I can't think of the guys, that manager they had, but it was like
They had Cole
Was it
Hamels.
Ron
and they
Washington?
had-
yes, Ron Washington,
Yeah.
and they were constantly in the ALCS. And I think they made it to a couple of World Series, like 2 out of 3 years, and walked away with nothing.
Right.
So this could be an opportunity for them to.
So you want to see them win? Do you think they'll win, though?
I
Is the
don't.
question.
I don't think they'll win it, but I see
No.
where Scotty's coming
and
from.
here's why. Tampa Bay had almost 100 wins, and
Well, that
Texas did not. And
that
here,
division though, the AL East was just ridiculous.
I know,
Yeah.
but that's the thing. So they should have probably won their division if Baltimore didn't pop off, right?
Right.
And I mean, usually the Yankees and Boston are up there, and they're on the bottom.
Yeah,
Well,
and the Yankees
they
still
went-
ended
yeah,
80.
they
over
dropped.
500.
And
hard.
the Yankees still went 82 and 80. I mean, that's a win percentage there. I mean, Toronto had a shot. I mean, there was a lot. Actually, Toronto's in it. What am I
Toronto's in
saying?
it. You're right.
Yeah,
They're
my
playing
bad.
to
I just saw
Twins.
that. Yeah,
I'm
so
trying
they're
to see
playing
who's the
Twins.
best division, the best division in the league, and
I feel like
The-
Tampa Bay is going to. I think that it's going to be a sweep. I don't think that.
So you think Tampa's going to win it in 2 games?
Yeah, I don't think Texas is going to.
They're
win
not.
The game.
They're okay. I agree with you on that one.
Okay.
I honestly do because, like I said, that division is ridiculous. They, like you said, they won a bunch of games.
That's true. This is a tough division.
It was a tough division.
Well,
Yeah.
listen, there's 3 games in the wild card. All we need is the Rangers to win 2.
Right. That's,
But Tampa Bay's going to win 2 at home.
But two,
They
yeah.
got home field advantage too for this series.
You know what? I missed that. I'm so sorry.
You're okay.
I'm still sticking with the Rangers. The
Ooh.
Rangers are going to come.
Yeah.
Because
From
even
behind.
if it
I
goes,
say-
They're going to win one at one. They're going to win
hang
one.
on. If it goes 3 games, they're all at Tampa Bay anyway.
Yeah, that's okay.
I think Tampa.
The wild card
Tampa
games,
takes this
they
series.
stay at the
Better team.
better teams.
You guys heard it here
facilities.
first, guys. I said Texas when they win.
Tampa
and if
Bay.
not, you guys can just put a LOL in the comments.
Tampa Bay.
We're going to put a dunce cap
Tampa
on you in post.
Bay.
Okay, thanks. All right,
We're going to do that before the playoffs.
Blue
so-
Jays and Twins.
All right, let's see. Blue Jays.
Blue Jays and Twins, guys.
Wow, Blue Jays are 89
They're
and
even worse than Tampa.
73.
Oh, they're right below Tampa.
They
Twins
had
won their division.
At 87 and 75.
the AL Central.
horrible division.
Being a
Yeah.
former Indians fan, the AL Central is always a weak division. So
Yeah.
I honestly, sorry, go ahead.
I'll just say 87 and 75. That being their champions. Funny.
Once again,
And normal.
I'm once again going for the underdogs, though. Minnesota Twins.
I mean, I was gonna say I feel
Sonny
like
Gray.
it'll go 3 games for sure
So let me point this out
because
real
of
quick.
the Twins pitching.
Twins have 778 runs scored, and Toronto has 746. So Toronto is walking in third in their division,
Third.
and
With a better record than Minnesota. Had
Right.
Minnesota had
And
Toronto
Minnesota's
been in
a champion.
Minnesota's they would have won that division. You see what I mean?
But Minnesota has more runs scored. I don't know. I mean, hey,
this is a more dead
pitching
even.
or bats? What wins
Pitching,
playoff
what do they
games?
say? Pitching wins championships,
And I
right?
think- I would agree.
Well,
I've seen great hitting teams just
Destroy.
go off.
did they get shut down from
Oh, they
great
got
pitching?
shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
You went the
Yeah, I
opposite
didn't know where you were going with that.
Yeah.
I thought you were going.
Unfortunately.
The opposite.
So I
So-
think pitching wins championships.
Here's what I'm saying. I went with Tampa Bay. I'm going to go ahead and this is a tough one.
Just say, you want to say the Twins.
I want to go with Toronto. I think Toronto.
They got the young talent. You're
They're
right.
gonna.
They
I
got
think
the-
the
they do have
East
the
is gonna
talent.
take 3 teams deep into the playoffs this year. Like
The East. I mean, yeah, I could see
I
it.
think Baltimore, Tampa Bay, and Toronto are going to go. Like they're all going to be in the next round. I think. I say Toronto. I'm not going to say they're going to sweep, but I'm going to go with Toronto, and I'm basing that on absolutely nothing.
I mean, I could see that. They got a solid. They got a.
They
solid
do have a
lineup.
very solid team.
I mean, you've got 3 players
Yeah.
that their dads played in the league, and they're just as good.
Yeah.
If not, I wouldn't say better, but
Bichette.
they're
I mean-
pretty good.
I mean, that's
Vladimir.
crazy.
They got
Yeah.
Guerrero Jr., they got Biggio and Bichette,
and Bichette on their infield,
and they're
it's
all
solid.
that's their whole.
And then
infield.
Rob Schneider's kid, Davis Schneider.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with
Gotta get out.
I'm gonna go with Toronto.
Ooh,
Toronto wins
nice.
that series.
They got a
All right,
good
we got
pitching
2
group,
Torontos.
too.
What are you going with, Scotty?
I said the Twins, but
He
you know
did
what?
say the
I
Twins. He's going
might.
for the underdog.
Which
I could kinda
I'm
see.
always going for the underdog.
But
I
is
can
that the
kinda
underdog?
see-
They won their division.
They d- well-
you're going by wins and losses because
They had a
Toronto
horrible
technically
division.
is the underdog there.
I might have to go with Toronto too.
Well, don't
Although
switch
I
your
wanna
mind. Don't
s-
change your mind.
I'm just.
I mean,
looking at the
because
team.
honestly, the Twins' offense is. I mean,
I would love to see the Twins.
I would love to
bust
see
it
the
out.
Twins just because they have Donnie Batts and Kyle Farmer on there.
They got Sonny Gray.
They got Sonny Gray,
Oh,
a whole bunch of
and,
old.
and he's been
old
solid
Reds.
this year.
Okay, so
He
you
has
He
want-
has
been.
been
Then
super
take
solid.
Minnesota. Take Minnesota.
You know what I am? I'm staying
Is it-
with Minnesota.
Isn't he in the running for AL or Cy
Cy
Young?
Young? I
Yeah.
think so.
All right, Jay, what's up with you? What are you going? Did you already say? I didn't hear.
I
Come
see.
on,
I'm
with,
torn.
Go with Sonny. Come on, you can do it.
Yeah, come on, come to the light.
Who do
Okay,
you
so
think's
here,
gonna
here,
win? Who do you
who
think
do
will
I-
win?
who do I think? Like I said before, I think it's going to go 3 games.
yeah.
The one game Minnesota is going to win. Sonny Gray's pitching.
Oh,
Oh,
so Toronto.
Yeah,
You're going.
So I'm
Toronto.
going Toronto.
oh.
All right, so we got 3 Toronto.
I feel like
one-
Sonny Gray's going to shut them down.
one Minnesota.
Shut down
Yeah, I
those.
think he
those
will.
Hey,
bats.
to Jason's point, Sonny Gray's ending the season on a 2.79 ERA.
Exactly.
Yeah, he's doing really well.
Yeah,
I'm
that's it's nuts. All right, so we got 1 Minnesota, 3 Torontos.
Once again, you guys heard it here.
Once again, you heard it
All right.
from
Minnesota.
Scott's mouth.
Minnesota.
This is what you heard
Minnesota.
from Scott's mouth. Blah, 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 blah.
Minnesota.
Minnesota. Okay.
Minnesota.
All right, next
Minnesota.
up.
Okay.
Next series is the.
Milwaukee crushes Arizona.
Oh yeah.
Done. It's just over.
Milwaukee made the Reds look terrible. I think.
Yeah.
I honestly, everybody says that the
I
All-Star
hate-
break
I hate going for
started the
Milwaukee.
Reds downhill.
No, it was
But I
Milwaukee.
think it was Milwaukee because that first series right before the All-Star break.
Yeah.
Well, and
They
I
got their butts
said that
handed
to Scotty. I said how they handled this. I said this is a good test for the Reds coming off the All-Star break, and they failed the test, but it was a test nonetheless, right? I knew. I think everybody knew like that was going to be a proving ground, and actually, I think we won the first game. I'm pretty sure we
The
won
series.
the first game.
Of the
The series
Of the
after.
series.
Yeah.
I think so too. Like
I
by
thought
a
it was
light-
that-
I
yeah.
thought we pounded them.
Yeah,
see.
and I was like, oh my gosh,
Let me check.
We did, but then we.
All-Star break. We lost the first game, won the second game.
that's what.
and
How
then
much
lost
did
the
we win
third.
the second game by? Was this a couple?
It was
runs?
8-5.
Yeah, it was a decent margin. I'm like,
Yeah.
maybe we can compete. I was like, it was 1-1 the first
Right.
2 games.
Right.
And then we got swept.
Yeah, and then we
The
just got
next
destroyed.
series.
yeah.
Yeah. And the next series.
We honestly only scored. We didn't score at all that next series. Oh no, wait. Where am I at? No, we scored. We only scored 3 runs.
3 runs
and
in
that was
the
last
third game. 0-0.
Yeah, we don't want to go for the Brewers, but I'm with y'all on this. I think
Christian
the Brewers.
Yelich is back.
Yeah.
He's his
you're
knee
looking-
injury from
Is
a
he
few
healthy?
years ago is not really bothering him. It doesn't seem
There
like
you
this
go.
year. So I go Milwaukee.
Because
Yeah, they got Wilson Contreras at batting 291, Christian Yelich batting 278. I mean, they have good hitters. They
Yeah.
have good pitching.
good pitching.
I want to look at
So
their pitching right now. Actually,
what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with Arizona because I hate Milwaukee, and I think the Arizona
I hate
is
Milwaukee
going
too, but I'm going with
Arizona is
Milwaukee.
going to
Honestly, Milwaukee
upset.
Milwaukee for me turned into the Cardinals forever. Even though I still hate the Cardinals, but now
We all
I hate
still-
I hate
we
it's
don't
Milwaukee.
because
even
the
speak their
Cardinals
name
have
in here.
sucked and they haven't been.
Well, they've been
I still-
crybabies for
I
years
still hate
too.
the Cardinals.
I
But they've-
still do
they've-
too. But
they've always
what I'm
sucked,
saying is
but
they
even when they
turned-
suck, they
Milwaukee
win.
Once they
turned
get
into my
once
hate.
Wainwright retires and
He's
that,
done.
that
This
oh,
is- this was his last
year.
season.
Yeah,
Good.
this is
Okay,
it.
so I can maybe start saying
No.
Don't
No.
say,
Stop
don't,
it.
Don't, don't
We're not
have
even.
those
We
words
can't even
come
say
out of your
Saint
mouth.
Louis.
Saint
Saying,
the Saint excuse me. And here's the funny thing: I don't mind Chicago. That's about it, though.
I don't.
And I
even
didn't mind
Chicago.
Milwaukee until
until
year.
this season, pretty much.
Oh.
I mean, I didn't either. I
You
honestly
basically don't
rooted
like
for
teams until
Yelich.
they're really good and beat
Yeah,
the tar out of us
exactly.
consistently.
Exactly. Until they
Pretty
beat the
much.
Reds too
Except,
much.
except for we always hate the Pirates.
I do not. I
I
to
always
me,
hate the
it's
Pirates.
this.
I've always
I hate
I
every
hate-
team from Pittsburgh.
I
It was
hate-
St. Louis,
I hate
Yeah,
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis.
and then now it's
Pittsburgh.
Milwaukee's up there.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Well,
No,
okay,
for
yeah,
you,
you're right.
I'm
you're
talking
right.
about in the past.
Oh, in the past, yes,
It's
it
been
was
St. Louis,
Yep.
Pittsburgh, Chicago, Milwaukee.
because Milwaukee didn't really hurt us too bad years
Well,
ago.
and here's the other thing: Chicago, the Cubs. Like I've been there. I've been to Wrigley, and Cubs fans are great.
You know,
gave us-
especially when they come to Cincinnati and take over the
the
stadium
whole
there.
stadium
They're
there.
pretty good too.
I like
hate that.
the
I
Wrigley
I hate
Field
that too.
is,
I absolutely
is
hate that.
definitely an experience.
Like Reds fans, let's when we know the Cubs are coming in, let's buy all the tickets, and if you want to upsell them by
Pretty sure the
1,000%, the Cubs will still buy them.
They'll still buy him.
Right,
Let's
But at
talk
least we
about
made
real
some
quick.
money off
We
of them.
just talked about. I'm gonna put a spin on this. We just talked about immediately when you asked the question about the Diamondbacks and Brewers. I was like, Milwaukee is gonna destroy them. But I'm looking at some stats here, and actually, I was at. By the way, I travel, and
He goes to every major league ballpark.
my
He's trying
goal
to.
is to go to every single major league ballpark, and I was at Arizona.
Mm-hmm.
And when I was at Arizona, it was a meaningful game. They were playing. I can't remember who they were playing, but it was.
This was recent, wasn't it?
yeah, it
Yeah.
was. I can't
Like
remember.
last week.
No, it was like 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks
Was it
ago.
2 weeks?
Who they were playing? Hang
Yeah, I
on.
want to
I'll
know who they're
look, I'll
playing.
look it up.
It was
for you.
that was probably the most exciting game.
You
ever.
were there and you
There
don't
it is.
remember who they were
I
playing.
know, right? What a turd.
But it was an exciting game, and I'm gonna point
was
out.
it San Francisco?
Yes, it was the Giants. It was the
Okay.
Giants, and it was super exciting game.
It was a 2-game series, and they
David
won
and
that
the
series.
Giants.
yeah, and guess who was pitching that night?
Which
pitching?
one? The 19th or the 20th?
Was it bum?
19th.
The 19th.
Melvin Birkenstock. Is that a person?
I know his last name.
Gallon.
Yes, Gallon. I don't know if it's Zach Gallon.
Is
Zach
that Joe-
Gallen.
is it
Zach
Joe Gallo?
Galifianakis? No, I'm just kidding.
But Gallon was pitching, and here's the thing. Here's his
Joe
stats
Gallon's
ending
the
on the
GOAT
year, right?
baseball.
He's ending with a
Zach,
7.
yeah, you're
Zach
right,
Gallon. Yeah. So of course, I'm not familiar with the West and all that. So I started looking things up. I saw his stats, and the dude
He's
potentially
solid.
might win Cy Young for the National League.
Ooh, no.
Or
Sorry.
he's in there. At one time he was
It's
in
gonna be
contention.
Snell, but
he,
that's
he was
okay.
in contention. But here's
Oh
my
my
point.
goodness.
Arizona
You
has
smell
two
that? I
pitchers.
smell something.
Arizona has two pitchers, right? So initially I said Milwaukee's going to crush them. Arizona, out of their 3 games, has 2 pitchers they could start, and that is Gallon and Kelly. Gallon is ending the year with a 17-9 record. Kelly's ending with a 12-8.
Right.
Wow.
And
And,
then
Which is
Gallon's ERA is pretty good for nowadays. 3.47.
Yeah, 3.47. The
Struck
other-
out 220, pitched 210.
So what does
innings.
Milwaukee have?
here's the thing.
Milwaukee doesn't have that. I mean,
They
I'm
don't, I
looking.
don't think
Here's
they're
the thing. Somebody said Christian Yelich is back. My problem is to a fault they're going to try to get him into the games, and I think that
Probably
he's
gonna mess
going
him
to
up.
damper their chances of winning.
You said Yelich?
Yeah.
Well, and here's my thing. We just talked about this a little bit earlier in the podcast, and I've seen a lot of great hitting teams not advance because they faced great pitching. And right now, when you match it up,
Yeah.
Arizona has better pitching than Milwaukee.
So, to answer your question, Scott, who does Milwaukee have for pitching? Corbin Burns. He went 10-8 with 3.39 ERA, 200 strikeouts, a little over 193 innings pitched. and then
And
they
that's it.
I mean,
kidding.
the other one's Peralta. He ends with the 12.
they've got
and 10
Wade
record.
Miley,
Oh,
Old
yeah.
lefty.
Old Wade
old
Miley.
lefty. He went 9-4 with a
I miss him actually.
3.14
I'd take him
ERA.
back.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not bad.
Uh,
And who else? Peralta, Freddie
Yeah,
Peralta.
Yeah, Freddie
Freddie
Peralta.
He went
Peralta.
12-10, 386, 210 strikeouts. But
I mean,
it's also Freddie Peralta.
I'm thinking. I'm switching. I'm gonna say
You
you
say
want to
Arizona?
go with an underdog. You want to go with. I'm saying Arizona walks away from this series.
Wow.
I think so too. I don't think it's going to be a sweep. I think
No.
Milwaukee fights. I
Yeah.
think it's going to go down to the last.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's going to go down to Arizona's closer because I'm
I'm
guessing
gonna
that's all
throw-
at Milwaukee, right?
What's Arizona's offense? Can they score runs?
I don't know.
up
But
there.
Milwaukee's offense, well, I think Milwaukee's going to win, even though I hate saying it because I hate them. They've got Carlos Santana.
I like Carlos. He's a
Josh
former Indian.
Donaldson.
That's a great,
Josh
like
Donaldson.
a
They
really
picked
good
up Josh
guitar
Donaldson.
player.
It's
That's
trade.
right, because they New York dropped them.
Yep. Willie Adames, Christian Yelich.
I'm telling you, they're going to try
But
to
again,
keep him in the game.
but again,
and
I
he's
tell
going
you,
to
listen,
damper.
I've seen great hitting, man. I mean, in good pitching sets down.
I guess all you got to do is score a run if you got great pitching.
You nailed it. I've seen teams with great
See,
pitching
so
beat
They have a
teams.
Christian Walker, not a Christian Yelich. I think Walker is going to get on base a lot more.
Just
from
where's
Walker.
the drums? Where's my drums?
Oh boy!
My final take is
Ketel
so
Marte, Evan Longoria,
Jason brings up
Peterson.
a great point of the hitting that Milwaukee
All right.
brings to the table.
Lourdes Gurriel Jr., Corbin Carroll.
Tommy Pham.
Okay,
but Tommy Pham's, yeah.
Oh, here's another old one.
so
Yeah.
let's. He is another old one, but he's
My
got
final take,
postseason stats.
Arizona
What are they?
wins.
All right. You know what? You've convinced me. I'm going to go with Arizona.
You're going to Arizona too?
I'm going with Arizona.
I think I'm going to switch too now, because, yeah, they got a good. So
Tommy
Tommy
Pham's
Pham's
career postseason
he
batting
bats
average.
352.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw Tommy. There was quite a few Reds players that went out the game. Like, hey, that's
Let's
a Reds
see.
player. Hey,
Let's
that's
We
a
used to do. Me and him used to play baseball back in like the '90s and the early 2000s, and our whole line when we were playing, anytime somebody got up to bat, almost half the time it was like that guy used to be a Red.
Pretty much.
Well,
All
look,
the pretty much.
dude,
Yeah.
look at each team. They each
He
have a
used
bunch of
to be
Reds.
A Red.
Or, well, at
It's
least
like
the majority of
this-
them do.
It's like the Reds bring people in and then they get rid of them and then
You know,
they
you
go
know what we used to
pop
call
off.
the Indians, and maybe it's becoming the Reds. We used to call the Indians the farm league for Major League.
Oh yeah.
because the Indians have an amazing farm system.
Yeah.
It seems like the Reds do too. And Indians would bring in these great pitchers. They'd win a Cy Young, and
But
then
they don't know how to cultivate
Also
them
seems
into
like the Reds
major
and
leagues.
Indians would always trade for each other.
say it again.
They would
Oh,
always
yeah, the
trade for
Indians
each
and the
other's
Reds. There was a
players.
time where
Yeah.
Drew
Yo.
Stubbs went to.
I mean,
The
when
best
you
trade
guys
we
got
ever
Brandon
made was
Phillips,
getting
we got
Shin Chu
Brandon
Chu.
Phillips.
Yeah,
Oh,
Sin
Brandon
Chu
B.
came.
That was the
P.
best.
Yeah, I
Whining
remember that.
cry-
Oh, yeah,
Crybabies.
yeah. Brandon,
BP.
yeah, Brandon Phillips.
They should have never
Duh.
let that guy walk. He should have
No.
retired.
I think
He definitely should have retired
Yeah,
a Red.
he was. an
everybody
amazing
was like
Red.
people that were, oh, he lost his power. He was never a power hitter.
He
No,
won. Yeah,
he-
he,
bro,
was.
he
a
did
base-
not-
He
he was a
one
base
year.
hitter.
He was a base hitter and a
And what's
defensive
funny
artist.
is the last few years of his career, he started batting 300.
Yeah.
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 And he averaged probably at least 20 home runs.
Could you get a better glove?
It
than
was
him?
18.
Was
So
it 18?
No, you
I've
definitely
looked
couldn't.
up
the
the
stats.
stats.
You
I've
definitely
looked up
couldn't
the
get a
stats
better
on that.
glove. No.
Could you get a
He,
better glove?
he had
No.
31
No.
years, but he was the second 30-30 second baseman to ever play.
I remember that.
You remember that?
Yep.
Now it's not the first, but then you know, somebody else did it. I can't remember the dude's name. Right
We want
off.
Brandon Phillips back. Well,
Yeah, we want him back. The dude was a defensive juggernaut.
Dat dude.
that dude BP.
Bring us
That
that,
dude BP.
That dude. Leave a comment if you want to see that dude BP on the D3P podcast. Ooh, let us know.
If
Man.
you see
Brandon
this podcast,
Phillips,
listen,
we want you, bro.
Here's the deal. I will start a softball team, and I've retired if you'll come play
Oh, man.
shortstop for us.
Oh no, I'm going to add to that. Joey will pitch
I will pitch.
with.
He's
no-
pretty good pitcher
Yeah, Joey will,
until he got hit in the arm, but we're good.
with no armor. He will pitch with.
I will
no
pitch
armor.
with no armor.
No
It'll
face
be in
mask.
the E or F League or G League softball team,
Let's
but
do
we'll
it.
have fun, BP.
I will
Yes.
Come
have
on.
to take over first base because
And Joey, I know you're
I
retiring.
don't think my
soon,
ankles will let me
maybe?
go out in the outfield anymore.
Oh, really? Yeah, that's a
I'll,
good
I'll
point.
go
You
back
had-
to
you had
catcher
Brad-
at this point.
All right, so
Maybe you can just
next
catch.
we're looking
I
at
like first.
Marlins.
I played it for a
All
little
right, hold up. Let's get back on
Marlins-
track.
Anyway.
Sorry.
Marlins Phillies. By the
Marlins,
way,
Phillies.
I just want to point out I have been out of the
Oh wait,
out of the
so
teams.
did everybody go with Arizona?
Yeah.
Well, Joe, what was you went with
said-
Arizona?
he said
I
Arizona
said
because he
Arizona
hates Milwaukee.
first.
Oh, that's true.
Because
That's
I
right.
hate
You
Milwaukee.
did.
And
You
I
did.
said I based that on absolutely
did.
nothing.
Interesting
but now
note
I had
here.
facts, apparently. I didn't look up.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. Yeah, I found
We
out how
got
to
you.
look up these
We
little
got you.
stats here. Interesting. No, I out of the four teams.
Just go with my heart
It's a big heart.
because it's
Okay.
enlarged.
All right.
Big.
out of
Can't
the
see it.
Out of the 4 teams, been what?
out of the 6 teams.
Oh, out of the 6 teams. Here we go.
that are in the wild card. I've been to Toronto Stadium, the Twin Stadium,
Really, you went to Canada?
Arizona Stadium,
Oh, nice.
There's 8
Milwaukee
teams
Stadium.
in the playoffs.
He
right
wouldn't have
now.
been able to get in if he wasn't.
Yeah.
But we won't get into that.
Yeah, that's a whole.
No, you're
nother-
fine.
yeah. So, and I've been to the Philly Stadium.
So you've been to 5
Really?
out of 8?
Yeah.
Wow.
Nice.
Haven't been to Miami yet, but yeah, okay. Marlins, Phillies.
All right, Marlins, Phillies. This is.
Oh, I'm
a
definitely
tough
going with
one.
Philly.
Really?
I'm going with Philly, and it's because I love Nick Castellanos.
Oh yeah.
That guy, everybody, and he's got hated on a little bit there because they're like,
Didn't you in the last Major League Baseball podcast, like a month ago, pick Philly to go to the World Series?
I think I did. Yes.
This was I'm
going with Philly.
although Atlanta is just this huge juggernaut, Philly's not a bad team. I think that they're going to.
Let's.
I don't know if they'll sweep Miami. You know what? I'm just going to say Philly's going to sweep Miami. It's going to be over in 2. Game over.
Dude, Miami. Yeah, the fact
They
that
are.
Miami-
They are in Philadelphia.
No, you know what?
They
They're
got a
going to
team.
lose. Philly's going to lose one of those games for one
Well,
of those first
let's-
2 games,
let's-
and I'll tell you why.
Okay.
I think that
What's their record? They kind of look
90 and
even.
72. Miami is 84 and 77.
Okay, because from stats, they kind of look very evenly matched.
Right, but I
don't know. I
just
take
have a
that back.
feeling that Philly's not going to sweep now in my brain, and I don't know why. But I feel like Philly's going to win.
Let me say this: Phillies 3 pitchers, 3 starting pitchers.
Zach Wheeler?
Nola 12-9, Wheeler 13-6, Walker 15-6.
Michael
And
Lorenzen.
Pitching,
Miami
pitching.
does not have their top dog Alcantara. He is on the IL.
Phillies.
Phils. I think
But
Miami.
they do
I
have
think
Johnny
Miami
Cueto.
pulls a game. I think
The
Miami,
next red.
I think Miami pulls one game out of that series.
Probably Johnny Cueto pitching, but
Yeah,
we'll
Oh,
see
of
what
course.
I don't know what his stats were for this season. Let me look
I'll look them up.
if my phone would load.
Yeah, load phone.
Well, look at who's turned it on for the Phillies.
Johnny Cueto is 1-4, 1 win, 4 losses. The
Really?
6.02
he didn't pitch all
ERA.
year.
Yeah,
Where
I
was
think
he
he's
at?
going to come in. I think, yeah.
What was? Does it show his postseason stats?
no.
I don't think he has any. Does he?
I'm not sure.
Did he? Was he with us when we got swept by the Phillies and got no hit?
I don't
think so.
That was the
Bro, they had a
Bronson
team.
Arroyo
No.
days.
No.
He was
Aaron
with us.
Bronson.
Yeah, I was going to say he pitched with Bronson.
And Aaron Hurray?
Not,
I don't know
not,
about Aaron.
no,
Hurray.
no,
He might
yeah.
have came.
Aaron
he might
Hurray
have been
was-
like his first season.
But
with
he was
Aaron
definitely
Hurray.
here when Bronson was.
Yeah.
Yeah, Cueto was
Bronson
here.
pitched for us for a while.
Bronson.
Oh, yeah, he did. I miss Bronson. Bronson Arroyo.
Bro, he
if
would
you wanna
come
be on
on
our
our
podcast.
That's
too.
another guy, and he
I
lives
met-
here in
we
Cincinnati.
could get BP and
I
Bronson
met
Arroyo
Bronson
on this
Arroyo
Bron-
multiple times when I worked for TSA, and he was
Really?
the nicest person I think I've ever met.
Wow.
Yeah.
Just down to earth.
All right, Bronson.
Cool guy.
we
Leave a
want you-
comment.
Let's
We
go.
want to see Bronson.
Bronson Arroyo, one of my favorite pitchers for the Reds.
Yeah, I think
I
we
don't
can-
know why. I don't know. He
Well,
was
because
fun.
the guy was steady, man. The
He
guy,
was.
he never missed a
His
game.
frisbee pitches,
with us.
man, those are awesome.
Yeah, his pitches.
that
were-
leg kick.
Yes.
He'd kick the moon,
Yeah.
and then he'd come back and throw the ball.
So
Anyway,
74
and he's a
mile
rock
per hour
star.
heater.
But
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
going to go
he can
Philly
sing.
in 3. I'm going to take Philly in 3.
Yeah, I'd
I
take
think
Philly.
Miami's going to squeeze one game out just because of the adrenaline rush. I think maybe the first game, and then they're going to just,
Yeah.
man, they might
Phil-
lose.
Philly's
they might
gonna-
win the second game.
I think Philly overpowers Miami for sure.
How about Miami's offense? Do you think that they will give Philly's pitching a run for their money? Especially with the Luis Ariz batting 354 this season, ended the season 354.
Wow.
That's crazy.
He was batting 400 for the longest time. And then he kind of had a slump, I think back in August maybe. And then September he kind of turned it on a little bit more.
Yeah, so Laird's batting 250, but he's got 36 home runs.
I think that I just
De La
think that
Cruz, 78 ribbies.
again we said it earlier. Pitching wins championships. I think so. I'm just going to go with Philly.
That's why I emphatically said Philly, because they just seem to have a great lineup.
And they have a good offense too. Like they
Well,
have,
I meant great lineup of pitcher. I meant
they
to
have
say something
pitching
different.
and offense.
Yeah.
Honestly, that can pop off at any time. If
Phillies. Yeah.
yeah,
I mean, you do have Kyle Schwarber, who's just a
I was gonna say
home run hitter, but he did lead the league in strikeouts.
I was gonna
this
say
year.
Schwarber is in the past
Adam Dunn.
several years.
No,
he
worse
hits.
than Adam Dunn.
He hits
that's hard.
the
It
home.
wasn't for him.
He hits the. He hits the home run.
They had to stop Adam Dunn from playing like 3 or 4 games into one of his seasons at the end because he was going to break the strikeout record.
He
I believe that.
Schwarber.
I remember that.
Frank Schwarber.
Kyle Schwarber.
I think yes, it may be true. He is leader in strikeouts, but what I think
Well, look who turned it on this year, and he wasn't doing well. There's a lot of people who wanted to kind of see him gone, but Trey Turner, he's turned it on at the end of the season.
Well, here's what I mean
And I
about
think
Kyle Schwarber.
he's gotten hot.
Kyle Schwarber has that. He has the it factor during the playoffs. I've seen that guy. I've seen that guy hit home
Yeah,
runs
I know that's when it didn't work.
when everybody thought he was, washed up. He came in at a pivotal point in a playoff game and made a difference. And I think that's just an it factor that keeps him relevant in the playoffs.
Well, I'm going with Philly. What do y'all think?
I'm going Philly, but I think Miami will win one of those games.
Okay, Philly.
Did it work? Is it
Yeah,
working?
it's working.
Good, cool.
What do you got? You're going with Philly, Ben? You said.
Yep, Philly.
All right, what's our next
Jason?
round?
I mean, Schwarber's postseason career has not been too bad. 242, 15 home runs.
Well, Jason was listening. I just said that.
Oh,
I
I'm
said,
sorry.
Schwarber.
We were
I was trying to get.
He's trying to fix his
Trying to
internet.
get
He has-
internet.
He has an it factor, and
true.
that it factor is he seems to
He
always
didn't even bat 200.
he seems to always have a hit that matters most during the playoffs. Like he's not going to be a consistently good hitter,
And it usually
but I'm going
goes
to tell you
over
when
the
there's
wall.
2 guys on, and he's up to bat.
That's true. He's
And
clutch.
the other team is down by is up by 2. He's hitting that 3-run dinger and bringing the Phillies over him.
Well, I'm going Phillies because they got the fastest guy in baseball, even though De La Cruz thinks he is. But Trey Turner,
That's what I said.
Solid
Yeah,
leadoff
Scotty.
guy.
He's
Way down with
he's
Trey
turned
Turner.
it on
yes,
at
and then
the end of this year.
obviously Nick Castellanos is a beast.
Yeah.
Bryce Harper.
Bryce Harper.
I never got on the Bryce Harper train.
He's not a bad player.
He's not a bad player, but
He's just not. He's kind of like a.
Yeah.
I don't know. He seems like a jerk.
he
but
is.
I don't know.
I honestly think he really.
But we've never met him. So
I've
we
never
don't
met
know.
him. You're right.
Maybe he's just.
Maybe
overly
he's
good.
he's super competitive.
And that doesn't mean he's a jerk, but he just seems that way. I don't know.
So here's the deal. We've talked about.
Bryce Harper, come debunk us. Be on our podcast.
he's not going to because
He's probably not going to. He's Philly.
But you know who would? Middletown native Kyle Schwarber. Listen,
Kyle
Kyle,
Schwarber.
Oh, that's
my
true.
first
This
house was in
guy.
Middletown, Kyle. So just like
Yeah.
go middies, go
Come on.
middies.
We definitely got to get Brandon Phillips on the podcast. We got to
Arroyo.
get Bronson. Bronson is here in Cincinnati. That honestly,
Yep.
I think that's doable. Like for real. Let us know in the
Is there
comments if
another
you want to see
Cincinnati
Bronson.
baseball player that was like really, big in the majors that we could get on this podcast?
Joey Votto.
No. He's from Canada. I'm talking about a hometown kid.
Oh,
Not that I know.
Wasn't there a Red Sox player back in the day?
back in the day.
Destin Pedroia. I don't know.
No.
No.
Big dude. The
He's
big
talking
fella.
about
I can't
he
remember.
played
Big
for
Poppy?
Sycamore. No, he played for Sycamore.
Played for Sycamore.
He
What's
played
the
for
dude?
Sycamore.
He had his bat up real
He
high.
had-
I can't remember
Don't
his
say
name.
it. Kevin Youkilis.
Kevin
Kevin
Youkilis,
Youkilis.
that's it.
Kevin
Youkilis.
Man,
Yo,
move back.
that's
Kevin.
taking it way back.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was.
Kevin
And we could
Youkilis.
also, my favorite player growing up, the mayor.
Oh, Sean Casey,
I-
done deal.
I literally, 21 is my favorite number. And that's what I put on my jersey to play basketball. Not even to play baseball, just basketball, because I was a huge fan.
I thought you were 41 at one point.
Yeah, but that's because they wouldn't give me 21 because they went by shirt size the last year.
Oh,
It's
that's
kinda-
right. Okay.
Yeah, I was kind of upset. Although I popped off in 41 that year. I averaged like 19 points a game, so that's not bad.
Wow. Well, listen. So here's the deal. We have gone through. We've made our predictions
For the
on the
wild
wild card series this week. Let us know what you think in the comments below. Who's going to win each of these series? You've got ours. You guys excited for the playoffs, guys? We pumped?
Pumped.
Because the Reds are out of it, I'm not.
Yeah,
I mean,
I'm
it
not
kind of
really
deflates
either.
us. We're all Reds fans.
Maybe I spoke too soon. Yeah.
But
He's like, "Pop." No,
you know what? Nah, for
Just
real.
kidding.
I'm rooting for a
I
lot of
thought you
teams.
wanted like hype there, so I was just like,
Pumped! I am. You know what I am? I'm
Don't
excited.
lie, Ben. You're not pumped.
Listen.
I'm not. I gotta tell you, I'm football more than anything.
I think we're all in this
Green
football
Bay.
mood. No.
Here's
Bengals.
the-
Oh wait, I forgot. You recently said you're no longer a Green Bay fan.
Oh no, I never said that.
That was
Watch
Brad
your
Pitt.
mouth.
that was bad.
Watch your mouth.
Brad said
Listen, that will never
said
happen.
he was switching to the Ravens, and I laughed extremely hard.
That's
No.
right.
No.
I should be
He
more
wouldn't
into
switch
that.
to the Ravens first off
Baltimore.
from Green Bay.
He would be
Guys,
going with Cincinnati, of
we
course.
need to talk about the
Baseball.
Bengals, so we need to bring
Listen,
this and do another one.
First of all,
another podcast.
we want to thank you guys for watching today.
Yes.
And on this note, D3P out.
D3P.
We will see you again with our next
Hot
week's-
take.
Yes.
Hot take.
Hot take.